Hey everybody, it's Heiden and I'm back with the Lodrik versus Heiden campaign. Of course, we're playing War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, Scenario 1 with no mods. This is the 15th of March 1942, combat replay and intel analysis. Let's see how we do. Okay, here we go, March 15th, 1942. This is Lodrik versus Heiden. Alright, it looks like he grabbed the base in North Borneo. That's just due to proximity. Oh, come on. Ah! Dang it. Hey, at least I know my sub patrol that I put there is working out. I moved some subs to block this pathway here because it's the most likely way that he's gonna... Whoa! What's up with this? Why does he have all these destroyers all like packaged up? So O-19 fires 4 torpedoes at the Aurora and misses. Darn it. I wish I could have hit somebody else instead. At least that patrol zone's good. I know that. Okay. Looks like we didn't have any kind of night activity with our bombing or anything like that. Ooh. What was that? Did you guys hear that? That's a weird, like, gunshot sound. I hope we're not having another desync here. Shoot. Of course. Port Blair mission canceled due to weather. Ah, okay. This is where he's coming in. I know it. See, these guys are moving, right? You see them? I think this is where he's trying to break through. So now he's going to focus all of his bombing here. Yep, he's totally going for this. Yeah. He's telegraphing where he's going. That's why he's got these 88 units down here. Remember, I showed that to you guys in the last video. He wants to break through. He's going to shock attack across this river. Oh, man. I don't know if we can hold. Yeah, every single... Well, I was going to say every single bomber he's got will go there, but maybe not. Yeah, it's so clear where he's trying to go through. This is where we're weakest, right? We have the most AV in both of these, and the least here, because I just haven't had the time to get everything moved around. Man, if that falls, it's going to completely change the game as far as, like, what's going to happen here in China. Yeah, so this is the other hex that he's trying to break through, too. Although I think he has a better chance of something good happening in the south. Okay, that's AM phase. We'll see what happens in the PM. Something just sank. What was it that sank? I don't think it was one of mine, was it? Unless it was the Hermes. But I think we would have got a message about that, right? You see that? He's reconning Kumak on New Caledonia. Right. So pretty quiet PM phase. Let's see what happens. The next is going to be the ground combat phase, and I'm a little concerned about China at Siangtan. Oh, no. I was worried about this. He did it. He actually did it. I don't think this is going to go well, guys. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. Oh, no. No, no, no. Nope, this isn't good, guys. Oh, no! No! Oh. This is really bad. Oh. Yikes, look at that. 6,000 AV. The Lodrik death stack strikes again. Because that's all Lodrik knows how to do, is bludgeon. Look at this. I'm not even afraid to look at the losses. Wow. Look at this. This is bad. Oh man. We are so in trouble now. We are really in trouble. Oh no. There you have it, guys. The Lodrik death stack. You seeing this? Look at this. What a joke, right? I'm not impressed one bit. But it is what it is, right? There's no rule against it. If you want to play like a buffoon and bludgeon your way through stuff, I guess you can. It works, right? Because he just completely flipped the table on us and changed the game as far as like my strategy in China. And now we're really in trouble. Okay, a bombardment attack up here. Okay. Oh, here we go, Darwin. What do you think? Are we going to make it? Oh, we survived another day. I can't believe it. We held out. That's amazing. These Australian troops are my heroes, man. Now, we take more casualties, of course, and that's going to hurt us in the long run, but... Jeez. One more turn. One more attack, and he's got it. Okay, he's going for Suva again. Yes! We hold out again. Unfortunately, we're down to 0 fortification. Kind of an even trade on casualties, but we hold out another day. Man. So Suva's on the... So Suva and Darwin are on the verge of falling, and now we're in serious trouble in China. Looks like he's going for Bacolod. Another day. And he grabs it this time. Oh, man. Shoot. Oh, man. He finally did it. I was wondering when he was going to take this. It's been months. Wow, what a good turn for Lodrik. Ooh, did you see that? Looks like Darwin got forts back up. Okay. Suva did too. So that means they may have another day of life. What a bad turn for us and a good turn for Lodrik. And to think he was going to quit. Just goes to show you guys, you're never out until you're out. Okay, I'm getting a few ships on the map here. Wow. This was bad. Well, the absolute worst thing that could have happened in China just happened. And we're in serious trouble. But before we get to that, let's talk about this. We'll do aircraft losses for today. 2 for us, 3 for him. He loses an Oscar, Ida, and a Sally. We lose a Wirraway, which we have plenty of, and a Dutch PBY-5. Of those, only one of those pilots are wounded. Take a look at the wounded pilots for this turn. Let's see if we got anybody new. Okay, so Proctor FD. Let's see if we can save this guy. Transfer to reserve. Proctor. Oh, did I do that? That's what I meant. Transfer that guy to reserve. Let's see if we get Proctor back. There he is. He's coming back. All right. Old Tanner B, though, he's not. I'm getting ready to start sending these guys out of here. All right. So, looking at the Army loss points today, this was a very, very, very bad day for us. We took 198 loss points to the Japanese 22, and that was all in China, more or less. Yeah, ship sunk last turn. So, nothing reported, but I have a feeling something did sink, and I'll show you that in just a minute. And it wasn't one of mine. So, looking at the total points for this turn, Lodrik has gone up an additional 255, which brings his ratio to 1.598, basically 1.60 to 1. Another good day for Lodrik. He's really been turning up the heat. He's hadn't had really a bad day in a while. Even those destroyers that we sank really aren't gonna stop him. Okay, so combat report. Remember I mentioned that I thought I heard a ship sinking? Well, I found out where it was. Check this out. Apparently, one of Lodrik's minesweeping task forces got a little too close to Palembang, and our short guns fired on these guys as they were clearing mines. And we hit 2 of his AMC. We hit all 3 AMCs, right? But we don't actually get to see the animation. But I'm almost certain at least one of these have sunk, if not more. That would be the sound of the gun we heard during the replay that I couldn't explain, and the eventual ship sinking. It was at least one of these guys. So that's why it's always good to check your combat report to make sure that you don't see anything that doesn't have animation. Also, I did check the turn. I don't see any evidence of a desync. So from this point on, I'm never going to mention a desync to you guys again unless I know there was one. Just know that I'll be checking before we start the turn to make sure everything lines up. And as of this turn, we seem to be back on track. Okay. So, look at SIGINT. I do have a couple things that are interesting. 52nd Division is loaded on an AP moving to Ponape. Again, what the heck is going on out here? Where is it at? I don't even know where it's at. It's so desolate. Right here. Ponape, or Ponape, whatever you want to call it. He's moving AA regiments and now an infantry division here. Why? I don't get it. I don't know what he's doing. But he's... According to my SIGINT, he's moving stuff here. So because of that, I'm going to be diverting a couple of my subs that were previously on patrol near truck. I'm going to send them over here just to see if we can pick up these ships coming in. Because, I mean, why not? I mean, I may get lucky and get something, right? The other thing I noticed here is that the 7th Division is at Nadi. So we know he's got a full infantry division currently here, which is quite a bit of troops. So, if and when he decides to bring these guys over to Suva, that's game over. We've been able to hold these guys up for the most part, but an infantry division over here would be just too much. Okay, for ops report, a few good things that I noticed were cool. down here at the bottom, Suva and Darwin both brought their fortification levels back up. Now, they were both knocked down to size 0 during the combat last turn, or this turn, but they're back up to 1, which maybe buys them some more time. One thing that isn't so good is that in Denny, which is the base north of Luganville, it looks like Lodrik has finally built up the port capacity there. Not that he's going to be able to do a whole lot with it, but he's just building it up, so okay. Also on the ops port, I noticed that we got a new troop ship at Balboa, the Thomas Jefferson, and I just looked at it, and it looks pretty decent, actually. It's over here. This guy's got good speed, good range, good capacity, so I will be sending him up to East USA. And the last thing I noticed was that we get the number 77 Squadron RAF, the Kitty Hawks, are just now at Perth. So this is another unit that we can use wherever we need to. But for now, I'll just keep it here and have it train. Okay, that's it for everything I noticed in the ops report that's good. Let's now talk about this train wreck of a turn. And we'll start in my favorite place, China. But first, I'm going to pause this video and clear my nose because this COVID's killing me. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So let's talk about this train wreck. Lodrik just bludgeoned his way across the river here and took Siangtan, and that puts us in a very precarious situation. So if you look at it real close, his troops are now moving towards Xiang and Henyang, and he's got these troops coming up from the bottom. So I must get these troops out of this hex, and the only way I can see to do that where they have no way of getting cut off is to go down a long way this way, which is going to take him out of the fight for a while. And you can bet that he's going to bomb this city here in preparation for the next thing. So it's going to slow our troops down. So we may get blown out here anyway, but we have to try to get these troops out. My problem is I have to now evacuate Changsha as well because I'll get flanked if I don't. And then what do I do next? The problem is that I have to defend on ×3 terrain because we're looking at about 15,000 AV worth of Japanese troops in one area. And if Lodrik wants to put them into one spot like he tends to do, because that's all he knows how to do, I have to be able to defend against 15,000 plus AV in one location. And I would have to be on ×3 terrain, but I don't have enough troops right now if these guys are taken out of the fight to go and do that. So this main body from Changsha will probably get out safely, I hope. And then from there, we'll probably have to go all the way up to this hex right here because we have to block all the roads in the Chungking, right? If I defend here, he can go around this way. If I defend here, he goes around that way. There's 2 roads, and they all converge right here. So this is the hex where we have to block. And then we have to block this hex as well, because if he comes up the road this way, he can just hopscotch over to this side and flank us. So these are the 2 hexes we're going to have to defend next. And these troops down here will probably take up position here. And whatever I can wrangle up down here will take up position here. And that's our only hope that I can see to defend China. In the meantime, I have to give up all of these bases down here. Every single one of them I got to give up because they're just going to get flanked and exposed. And that sucks. I wish I had known what I was getting into, letting Lodrik move the entire Qingtun army into China, because it's giving him 3 times the amount of troops that he would normally be able to have. As a Chinese player, I don't really know how you defend against this amount of troops. It's just ridiculous, but I agree to it. Now I got to deal with it, but I guarantee you, if Lodrik was having to play with political points, having to move these troops the way he does, he would be dead in the water in China. Because I've done a pretty decent job stopping him up to this point. But at some point, he's just going to probe around for a weakness. And I'm kind of hamstrung by the terrain that we've got here being clear. If this had been ×3 terrain, this shock attack would have failed in epic fashion. Guarantee it. But I didn't have the terrain bonus here. And this is what we ended up with. So all of this central part of China is collapsing now. And I got to find a way to get back to here and here to save Chungking. If you guys know of any better way than I do to make this better, by all means, please let me know. But I'm not seeing it right now. I think I'm kind of screwed. No reason even talking about the north, because that's not even a big deal anymore. This is the big deal. In Burma, nothing's really happening. I don't know what Lodrik is doing, but he's not attacking. So we're going to go ahead and consolidate our gains, take Uttaradit and Chiang Mai, and reinforce this whole area, build up the bases, move aircraft down here, and then we can start looking for other places to get in. Maybe Udantani, which is clear terrain, which may be a good candidate for attack. Maybe this base up here. Maybe go all the way down this way and get into Vietnam and take Hanoi from the back. I don't know. There's a lot of options here because I've got a lot of troops on the way. Maybe it'll take some pressure off of China if I can make him divert some forces to stop us pressing down towards Bangkok. So, one good thing about my carrier activity over here at Port Blair was it created a lot of confusion and distraction for Lodrik, and in that confusion, I was able to get 2 convoys out of Rangoon to send up to Calcutta for more supplies. Once I have these loaded up, I'll probably take them down to Akyab, dump them there, and then we'll just start bringing the supply in from Akyab, because it's a lot easier to do that than trying to go around the corner and risk the subs and the aircraft again. But yeah, I would say overall our carrier diversion, a belligerent expedition at Port Blair was effective. We destroyed 20 zeros. We destroyed 2 zeros. No, wait. 2 destroyers. We damaged critically 4 of his, what are they called? Transports. We took out a lot of troops. And we made him do something with his bombers here. I don't know what he did. He pulled them back. I don't know. We disrupted him enough. And it didn't really cost us hardly anything. So I would say that was an effective sortie. Now, let's take a look over here. The carriers are now over here and are heading back towards this way to provide a little bit of cover for the Hermes, which is still afloat. It went up 1 notch on the system damage last turn, but flotation and engine is holding steady. We're moving at 1 hex a day. So we're going to Adu to go pier side here to try to repair a little bit of damage. And then from there, we'll sail up to Colombo. In addition to the carriers coming this way to provide cover, I'm also going to send out this task force here with the Revenge and the Royal Sovereign, some light cruisers and 4 destroyers to escort the Hermes back to Adu. Just in case Lodrik wants to get crazy with some surface raiders and see if he can pick it off. I have full faith and confidence in the Revenge and the Royal Sovereign to fend off any heavy cruisers that Lodrik would send out towards us. They're slow battleships, but they got big guns. They got good night fighting capability, and they have more armor than the cruisers got. So that's the plan for the Hermes right now. Over in the Philippines, he took Bacolod, which didn't figure to hold anyway. And we're still waiting for him to... Oh, I take it back. He's in the hex now with us, with the killers of Cagayan. That's all that's left of us in basically the Philippines. If he takes this base out, or these troops, that is more or less the end of my organized resistance in all of Philippines. So what are we at? March 16th? I'd say Lodrik is done okay, all said and done. It took the real Japanese up to May or so to neutralize the Philippines. And Lodrik is about ready to do it here by mid-March. So not too bad. Not too bad, Lodrik. Alright. Nothing really happening in the Dutch East Indies right now, which is fine with me. What almost happened that didn't, thank goodness, was I had set my Dutch bombers... Where are they at? I had set these guys on a naval strike to go after this task force over here, thinking it was just a bunch of destroyers and cargo ships. But look at this. Boom. There's a carrier mixed in with this. How the carrier got from over here to over here in one turn, I'll never know that. Because that carrier was well on its way to Surabaya last turn. Now it's here. Thank goodness these bomber squadron pilots were like, no thanks, we're good. Because they would have been slaughtered if they had hit that cap. So, I don't know how Lodrik miracled a carrier into this thing, but he did. But it's untouchable now. And you can bet these guys are bringing more troops and supplies to Darwin to help these guys. At Darwin, we did hold. And as I mentioned already, We did build up the fortification level, which maybe buy us another day. I don't know. One good thing is we're going to get another one of these fighter wing units out of here, which have a lot of aviation support that I could use in Port Moresby, for example. So I'm glad I at least got a lot of units out of here that were very vital to me. Hopefully nothing surrenders when he takes Darwin and we can fall back to Catherine and put up another line of defense there. But Darwin will definitely fall and fall soon. Perth's pretty quiet right now. Queen Elizabeth is doing great. She should be moving off map in, let's take a look here. 26. So if we're moving 16 a day, 2 turns, it'll be on its way to Cape Town. So we're starting to have a little bit more activity on Eastern Australia. This is the Lodrik carrier task force that was previously over here last turn. It's now near Norfolk Island and heading toward Lord Howe. I don't know what his intentions are, but all the same, I packed up all of the task forces that were in Sydney and I put them away into the port so they're safe. Because I don't know if Lodrik has these guys set up for port strikes or for ship hunting, but I don't want them sitting in port in a task force where his carriers can get to them. So we're going to go back into port at Sydney, do the same thing at here at Brisbane, and then we'll hide under our cap umbrella. And we do have way more fighters than he does. So if he wants to send any of these bombers at Brisbane or Sydney, he's going to hit a wall of fighters, maybe 3 times the numbers that he's got. And I don't think he wants to do that. Same thing for Noumea. I don't think he's going to come up here and do anything silly, because look at all the fighters we've got here. Look at this. Yeah. 175 at least, plus another 50 on Kumok. So it would be in Lodrik's best interest to stay away from New Caledonia for now with his carrier aircraft. We just see the usual activity over here in Rabaul, but nothing else really. Our subs are not spotted, so hopefully they get a good intercept. At Nadi, Suva rather, he did not take the base again, and we were also able to build up another fort level. So that's good for us. I think we have enough strength here to last another couple attacks, unless he brings in more troops. Now, we do know that he potentially has the 7th Division at Nadi, so when he does bring that into Suva, it will be game over, because that has way more power than he currently has here. So the 7th Division at Nadi is probably enough to blast their way through, but I gotta say I'm very proud of these New Zealand troops here. They've done a fantastic job, and if the unit is destroyed, I would strongly consider buying it back, because it's performed very well. I hope they can survive it, man. But I don't think... I think it's a foregone conclusion that all of the Fijian Islands are going to be taken. Good news is down here in New Zealand, there's no current activity. The Hiryu has moved off. I'm guessing it's actually at Nadi right now, because there's a lot of ships in port there. And I know that's so because we have naval search on every corner of the island now. So there's no dead zones and where he can be around New Zealand like there was before. And the only thing we have spotted in the area is this guy. And other than damaging Lord Howe, I don't really see him capable of doing much else with this at the moment. Okay. My mouth's getting dry and my nose is getting stuffed up, and I think I've had enough talking for today. This was definitely a very, very bad turn for me. Him taking this base here, it splits us in half, and it knocks these troops out of the fight, because we have to run for our lives, and it's going to take us a couple weeks to get back into the fight, because we can't go this way because they'll cut us off. He may still get us in. He may still get in here and blow us out anyway. So we stand to lose even more troops at Henyang than what we lost here, because I have more troops here to begin with. So it's not looking good. It's looking dire. It's all because of Lodrik's crazy death stacks, because that's all he knows how to do is bludgeon his way through stuff. But I agreed to these rules when the campaign started, and I'll see it through. I hope he's ready for some death stacks because I'm gonna have to come at him with my own. But if you guys can think of a better strategy in China than me defending at these two hexes, please let me know and explain why you think your way is better than mine. Knowing that Lodrik has over 15,000 AV of troops down here, and if he wants to Schwerpunkt those into any one spot, we have to have at least 5,000 AV on ×3 terrain to have a glimmer of hope of maybe holding out. So if you can find a way for me to defend this part of China with those constraints, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to be running for a long time, and all of these are going to have Japanese flags on them pretty soon.